Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 494.
494.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. There is so much to do right now with the holiday season. Right now we're talking about EPCOT and Universal Studios. Check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel.
And Universal Fan Travel.
And Universal Fan Travel. They can help you with whatever you need once you're booked. And really, there's so much going on, but then we're heading into January really soon as well. So looking for 2024.
Cruising season.
Actually, January, February is actually a pretty good cruising season usually. So check out MEI.
And as you can see, we are at EPCOT for the EPCOT International Festival of the Holidays.
Which runs through December 30th, right before New Year's Eve. And you can see, I believe all of this is new this year, like all of the decor. They did quite a bit with the signage this year, so that's something new.
Nice update. And we're looking at the Christmas tree. We had a chance to actually see that angel up close last year.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was very awesome. You don't realize how big that is.
And there's Disney 100 ornaments this year, so I think that's maybe all that's new for 2023.
But the tree is beautiful, and I'm glad that I'm glad it was up early because it's usually the first one to go down. They take it down in time for the New Year's Eve fireworks.
I forgot about that because we usually aren't there New Year's Eve anymore.
Living with the Land, glimmering greenhouses.
We always want to say shimmering.
I know, it's glimmering greenhouses. We're looking at it. We rope dropped Living with the Land, so we're seeing it first thing in the morning.
And it's different daytime, nighttime for the holiday season. And it used to be, for many years, there's been holiday decorations, but for about 5 years now, they've had lights and such. So it's even more beautiful at night. But I also like it during the day for photos. And it was not the best looking day out.
Right, it was very dreary. So it was actually
you could
good
see the lights
because,
at least.
You could see it a little better than a usual sunny day.
But I like to look at the gifts and the decor. We saw the snowman, or if they were Sandman.
There was a family of sand snowmen. And
here you see it's like the Living with the Land symbol, and it looks like it's glow in the dark.
Yes,
that's what it reminds me of, as opposed to. It'll be interesting to see it at night. And now we're going through. I always think of this as the alligator area, even though it's fish and the alligators haven't been here for years.
I know, though. They used to be there. That is true.
It was
we have
cool.
a hidden Mickey with some gifts, too.
Right.
Christmas
lit
style,
up.
holiday style, I should say.
So you can see through there what it looks like when at night, when everything's so beautifully lit. And here is, it's not Rudolph because it's not a red nose.
It's Mickey with his reindeer ears.
He's
wearing a headband that he just bought.
I just call it a reindeer tree. So.
They should sell those ornaments, by the way. Those glimmering greenhouses ornaments. That I would buy. And
this is a symbol. There's 4 different symbols shown throughout. And they always have, I guess, the symbols, but these are holiday symbols. So like here, spices. Here it's like, I don't know if it's like sweets. It shows vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla and mint and very Christmassy spices.
And so I saw a couple of those big symbols in the greenhouses.
And I see some stockings hung with care there.
Yes. And so I guess probably the cast members who work here, that would be their stockings. And this is such a nice, cozy scene. You've got cookies, and
a little
probably
treat for Santa.
Well, Santa or whoever is planning to sit there. So now we're out walking around. I do love Living with the Land,
Glimmering
the holiday
greenhouses.
Yes, the holiday version. And we're in the United Kingdom now. This is the Spode teapot. This was, I think you told me, a couple days prior to...
the show is a composite of right before the festival, when most of the things were on display. It was a beautiful sunny day.
When our passes were good.
Yeah, as you can see here, it was a gorgeous day. And then the first day for us that we could get in, so right after the festival started.
There were about 4 days that we couldn't go. And here is Belle in her winter dress or Christmas dress, which is... a very popular. Anytime I post it, everybody goes crazy because you don't see it all year. Of course, all year round.
Yeah, it's been a number of years that she's done it, but it just gets
more at
this festival. But it just gets more and more popular. I couldn't believe it when I saw the line. It wasn't that long, and I really wanted to get in a good position for Père Noël, but I couldn't resist meeting Belle. You weren't even there yet, so I met her by myself, and of course she was very nice, and I got to take some pictures, and Yeah, it was a nice meet and greet. Very fortunate to get that.
And I was going through the shops taking photos of merchandise, fun merchandise, and Jeff's like, Bella's here, or I'm going to go see if I can.
Yeah, I mean,
meet
I
her.
was really close in line, so I couldn't pass it up. And really, with about 1 minute to spare, I made it to see Père Noël. But first, we're looking at some of the ornaments. These have been here for a number of years, and it's nice because we've been to all of these actual places, so it's kind of fun to see them in ornament form.
Well, yeah, in large decorative ornaments, and it's always beautiful to see them every year. And the day of the first festival day for us, which was like 3 days in,
right?
It wasn't busy like at all that morning, which was very surprising to me.
You're right. The longest lines I encountered throughout the whole day were really, not really lines, but groups of guests waiting for the storytellers. And they're worth it because they're great. And I always look forward to Père Noël here in France.
He's always the first one.
He's my first.
Yep.
Yeah, he remembered me too. Père Noël, at the end when I got my picture with him, he said, "Good to see you again this year."
That's very nice.
Yeah, I mean, but
he is Santa, so he should
remembers everybody.
And then I headed over to La Halle, and there was no line, which was really nice, and got an eclair and a baguette for us, a little breakfast.
What a treat. I mean, we haven't had the French baguette from here in so long because the line is...
It's usually really long.
Really long. So I was enjoying Père Noël's story. A true Christmas miracle was happening because you were able to get all that stuff with a very minimal wait. So anyway, that was great. And it's Olaf's Holiday Tradition Expedition. We didn't do it yet, but I'm just going to show you an example of the scavenger hunt. You have the map here with the stickers, and you want to find all the Olafs around World Showcase. We're going to show just one example of one that we happen to run into.
And even though we were not doing Olaf's Holiday Tradition Expedition yet, we found a number of them without even looking for him.
Yes, and he's on a sleigh in this one. Very nice. So I think that's another... all the festivals seem to have these scavenger hunt now. So I really like that.
And sometimes around Easter you have two.
Right, that's right. Just during Easter you have the Easter egg along with the regular scavenger hunt.
And now we are in the American Adventure, and we're looking at gingerbread. This is similar to the last couple of years. You have a little Lincoln Memorial, you have a little American Adventure Pavilion, and then a little Martin Luther King Memorial. And I really like this. You also have like little hidden Mickeys and such.
Yeah, I see. There's one right there. There's many of them actually.
Right on the side. So I think that they do a really nice job. Although they used to be so huge. Like they used to have such a large.
They had a life-size one with cast members inside selling treats, if you remember.
Well, not a life-size Lincoln Memorial.
No. I meant a life-size gingerbread house.
I mean, they used to over at the counter service, which is not. It wasn't Regal Eagle at the time,
right?
But they did used to have a gingerbread house. But then in here they had a large Washington Monument and everything.
And it was not behind plastic, so the whole rotunda had that gingerbread smell.
Amazing.
So it was really nice.
So right now we are looking at the Voices of Liberty as the Dickens carolers. I took a little video clip with my phone just to show them, and they are very popular, so you might want to get there a little early. Again, it wasn't too busy, so I had no problem finding a standing room. Like there's guests who are sitting on the floor, and then there's some who are on benches, and then I was right behind them.
Oh, you did a great job. It looks so festive here. I can just imagine, we had to divide and conquer because I was trying to track down one of the other storytellers before the rain came, and I was not successful. It did rain, so I should have stayed and watched the Voices of Liberty.
And so he's just showing real quick the train set in Germany with they have little signs.
Yeah, the village the village is celebrating the festival. You can't really see, but there's tiny little signs up there.
But they used to do a lot more with this. They used to have like a little Christmas tree. I think they had the nativity at one point.
Right, yes.
So it would be nice to have a little more for the holiday season there. So now we're looking in Germany, and this is one of my favorite places of any place in World Showcase to one of my favorite countries to walk through and see what they've got going on for the holidays.
Yeah, it's so festive, and even the beer garden is celebrating. They do have a special enhancement of the show for the holidays.
And we usually go. I don't know if we'll go this year or not, but we'll see. Here is Snow White. You were ahead of me.
Once again, as I was going around World Showcase, it had been raining, and the rain stopped, and I noticed there was a very short line for Snow White, so why not meet her? She has a little flourish of the holidays on her
like
bow
to use
up there. Where did I get that?
From
wonder
me,
where I got that from.
But I ended up getting it from a TV show. I'm trying to remember the flourish. Oh, no, Love Actually.
Oh.
That's probably where I got it, the flourish, Mr. Bean there.
Well, Snow White must have been so impressed when I complimented the flourish.
It's like a little
I should have
holly.
given you credit for that.
But so Belle has a full, Christmas outfit, but Princess Aurora and Snow White both have the little, we call it, the flourish. And now we're in Norway, and you have the Barn Santa, his name is different than it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, for so many years, I would refer to him as Julenisant, because that's what he called himself. And Sigrid there, and they would always have a very funny routine. Well, we didn't get to see it last year, and I noticed this year it's a different show. It's a very different show. It's still a great show, but they kind of changed some things.
Right. They call him like Flonisant, and it has something to do with porridge. Actually, I don't know if I did not watch the whole thing. I looked up the Barn Santa and I found stuff about,
Well, maybe they
porridge.
corrected. Maybe Julenisant, he never was to be. I think the deal is, if you don't give the porridge to Julenisant, you get the Barn Santa, who is very mischievous.
Why does he want porridge? Like,
Just
why not
like
cookies?
Our Santa wants milk and cookies, he prefers a steaming bowl of porridge, as he says during the show.
What I found is exactly what he was saying.
You are correct.
So Santa is back in the Odyssey. This is his second year.
There he is. We didn't meet him. There was a very long line, and we just wanted to kind of show he's still just like last year in his sleigh. And, they have photo pass. You wait in line and meet Santa.
I think it's a really lovely location, although in America he used to meet with Mrs. Claus. So
Right.
it would be nice to have Mrs. Claus, but this is a much nicer backdrop.
Definitely.
So,
And it's inside. It's much easier on everybody
Right.
with the weather. It can be very hot. It can be rainy. No problem in the Odyssey.
And right now we're looking at the merchandise for EPCOT International Festival of the Holidays, which personally is by far my favorite merchandise.
So elegant.
That I remember them ever having. Not too much of any characters. It's just really beautiful.
The corksicle here is gorgeous. Like almost every item of merchandise appeals to me this year, and that's never happens.
Well, the purse, like I would buy the purse because I just think it's very nice that you have the little countries, and it does say Epcot on it, but it's something you could wear to a holiday party.
Right, it's not overpowering.
No, it's something that could go very nicely, and I actually like the Spirit jersey as well. And that might be something I do get. It's fluffy on the bottom, like the one that I have from Walt Disney World Holidays a couple years ago.
You have
right,
a nice
I
green
love
one,
it.
Christmassy.
I really like it. It's very elegant. I'm not sure on this one. I'm not a big fan of those balls, the puffs on the
hanging down from the throw.
No,
yeah, it could. Well, you have
The throw looks
when
nice,
you sit in
but
the
not
couch, that thing could get caught when you're
Right.
going up and down with the foot thing. So
And this is and I did not realize until I looked at your photos or video that it was a pass holder
exclusive.
shirt. Yeah. I don't want to say exclusive. Probably anybody could. It doesn't say, oh, you can't buy it.
Oh, okay. Maybe, yeah, I just assumed.
But why would you wear it unless you're a pass holder, unless you didn't see that it says pass holder on it? So here are some pins. There's pass holder pins as well as regular Epcot International Festival of the Holidays pins.
And we'll be back next week to get even more coverage, more around nighttime also, because it's a different event at night. Anyway, we're going to talk about Universal Studios Orlando Holidays. I was at a media event. My good friend Matt from Attractions Magazine brought me along to help, and so we're going to talk about some of the highlights. It's Earl the Squirrel. Do you know the story of Earl the Squirrel?
Because we used to look for Earl in the Christmas tree.
And he's there. I saw him in the tree this year, actually.
There was a real squirrel almost 10 years ago who got in the tree and broke the lights, right? Or
That
ate
is
through the
correct.
lights.
And that's him right there.
And isn't that amazing that it ended up where they have an actual walk around character?
It's really, I mean, that is such a great story and a great outcome, you know, because he's adorable. I love Earl the Squirrel.
And, you know, he ended up becoming a popular character.
And there's Matt and I at the event with Earl. And Earl does meet every day now during the festival as the Grinch. The Grinch, I think he is at Islands of Adventure. Very long lines to meet the Grinch. And they are not doing any kind of pre thing. It's just you get in the line and wait now for the Grinch.
And I believe that you can meet Max if you're on the Universal Holiday Tour. That's what it says. I looked it up.
Oh, interesting.
So look how cute Max is there.
Oh, Max was awesome. He was, you know, when I would say certain things to the Grinch, Max would bark his response. So, you know, and he would pose for the pictures. He had a sort of a trainer there helping out, of course. But no, they were both great. The Grinch is always awesome. I'll never forget the one time you met the Grinch. It was a very mean Grinch, if you remember. And he chased you around the store at the time.
I've met the Grinch more than once, but on that day, it made me very nervous. Like, he was so mean. And it's like, shouldn't his heart have grown like many sizes? Because
you told him all this.
His heart was had not grown.
It was before. You're seeing the early Grinch before his heart grew.
I like the one with the heart that's 10 sizes, or how many ever sizes bigger.
Well, speaking of that one, we're now we're looking at the Grinch show. The Grinch show is now playing where the Blue Man Group used to be, the old Nickelodeon soundstage, though. So it's a much nicer, much more comfortable venue for the Grinch show.
Because the last location, even though I love the show, was not great. His outfit looks
They had
different.
temporary chairs that were very hard and uncomfortable. So this is a big improvement, if you ask me.
Is his costume a little different than before?
Well, this is his show outfit. He's telling the story.
I know, but I mean, a few years ago, like, to me, it looks different than he used to look.
Well,
I would have to look.
Yeah, we'll have to look at before and after. And I don't think I mentioned it before, but the official name of this is the Grinchmas Who-liday Spectacular, starring the Grinch.
Yes, and it's always a great show. I'm glad it's in a new location, and such great talent here.
And you have some interesting information. I did not know the show is running as long as it has.
Right, I actually didn't remember that it started. I read online 2000, and I could find videos back from like 2010. I don't know how long we've been watching it, but I think for most of that time.
It's amazing.
Not since 2000, but since probably about 2010.
Right. So 23 years. I know there are a few years it didn't happen because of COVID, but that's an amazing run.
And also, this is a live retelling of how the Grinch stole Christmas with music and such. And also music recorded by Mannheim Steamroller. I did not remember that. I don't want to say I did not know that. I may have before. And Mannheim Steamroller still does appear several days in early December, several evenings for concerts.
We've seen them live before too at Universal. It's always it's you know, it's a busy time, of course, when they
People
perform.
love it.
Yeah, and I loved it though. I'm glad that we've done that a few times in the past.
And of course, this is part of the larger Grinchmas and then the larger Universal holidays.
Now, speaking of Universal holidays, our next thing, we're about to move on to the parade. It is the
Universal's Holiday Parade featuring Macy's.
And when you say featuring Macy's, featuring actual Macy's balloons from past years. So it's kind of fun. We just watched the actual Macy's Thanksgiving parade, which we do every year. So it's kind of fun that you can have a smaller version of that all the time during the holidays at Universal Orlando.
And plus you have a lot of characters, and like right now we're seeing a tree with Minions in it, but there's actually, you know, a float that includes Minions and as well as like Gru and, you know, other characters.
Yeah, we're going to see that. I really like that aspect of the parade. A little bit different than the actual Macy's parade that you see on Thanksgiving. As you mentioned, the Minion characters. Here's a whole float full of Minion characters.
Well, the Despicable Me
characters, including Gru.
Right, and
Agnes.
I really enjoy the film, and I remember when they brought in the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem attraction, we were there for the media event. We were actually invited for the media event a long time ago, and we got to interview the voices and such, and that was really fun.
Yeah, and they must be full adults at this time. Because they were little kids when we interviewed them. That was fun.
And so this float is actually full of Minions, and so there's a lot of character aspect. There's a lot of characters in the parade.
You know, this would have been fun to record down that little street where the Minion Street is, because you would have all the various signage and minions behind it, and then of course, like, you could have this giant minion balloon here. That's probably my favorite part of this minion section, is the giant balloon.
And looking at this float with the Merry Madagascar crew, it reminds me of for a couple of years due to the pandemic, that they had the floats and such inside.
Yeah, they were in a soundstage, and I mean, even the balloons, full-size giant balloons, were inflated. They really made the best of that situation.
I actually enjoyed it as much as, the parade, to be able to walk among it. Maybe I enjoyed it even more.
Yeah, that was because the characters would come in there and they would kind of switch out. So if you spent some time, you'd be able to meet all the various characters in their Christmas outfits. It was great.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was very creatively done.
And I see atop the parade you have Alex the lion up there and Gloria
the hippo.
That's right.
So, really fun characters. And Gingy Gingy is probably my favorite of the balloons. And so, of course, we're coming into the Shrek characters.
Shrek universe.
Yes. And so you have the pigs. And
Three blind mice back there. And you're about to see Puss in Boots.
And I remember when Shrek first came out, Puss in Boots was my favorite character.
And there is Shrek and Fiona in their Santa outfits, their holiday attire.
And she, I believe, I was going to say, is holding the baby. And now we have a Nutcracker.
And I have to say, even though this is not real snow, it really was kind of raining throughout this whole thing. So it was very festive. They still run this. See, you can look up in the lights there above Santa. It's raining pretty good. But Santa did not get dissuaded, and he's about to light the giant Christmas tree. There he is, Santa himself, and here's the tree. And
the lighting is different than it used to be. It used to be that they would stop and have a little ceremony, but now he sort of waves, just like it is in Paris, right?
Exactly.
That's different. That's also different.
I don't know if that's always the case or because it was starting to rain really hard.
We haven't been there in a while to see it.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and check it out during a non-rainy day.
Well, that reminded me of Disneyland Paris. And so now we are looking at
the magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle projection show.
And we're in of course, in the Wizarding World. And so it really is a beautiful way to end. And you also had some hot butterbeer, which I'm looking forward to.
The hot butterbeer was a highlight. Well, thank you to Universal for that.
I'm looking forward to actually purchasing some. I would like some.
I just want to mention, though, as far as this show, I've seen this more in California at Universal Hollywood. I don't think I've ever seen it here in Orlando before this. And there's a difference between this one, the California one, at least the last time we were there, had drones. If you remember, they actually had drones for the show there, and we have the fireworks here, so it's very different the way they do them.
I totally do not remember the drones, which is
I think
funny.
We have video from last year. Maybe last year was the first year of the drones. Bruce would have gotten that.
So we did not see the drones.
Correct.
And I think I've seen it here once. But yeah, a couple times in California.
So believe it or not, that is another show. We want to thank our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Check them out. And if you're looking for 2024 travel or a last-minute holiday trip or a Disney cruise or any cruise, because Becky is always researching every single cruise line.
Fully on the go. 3 events this week, I think.
Yeah,
from what I've read.
She's always on the move. Check them out and just head to their website for a no obligation quote. And I recommend them.
This coming week, we are going to be on a Disney Very Merry Time cruise. So we'll be talking all about that next week. We haven't been on one in many years, so we're really excited, looking forward to checking it out.
Yes, it will be really fun because I think it's been about 7 years since we did the Very Merry Time. And that will be the Disney Dream.
Right. And, another thing that'll be exciting, at least for us, is we're going to be taking Brightline to Fort Lauderdale for the cruise. So something that we have not done yet.
And I look forward to that almost as much because it's completely new for us. And, again, we've been on the Disney Dream. We've done the Very Merry Time, but there's new aspects to that.
Right, yes.
But the Brightline will be I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we've done high-speed trains in France before.
But not here.
Right, so it's very different to try the U.S. version of it.
I'm excited about that,
I am too. So thanks again for listening. Have a great week. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you all
No Thanksgiving.
Well, Thanksgiving happened.
Yes.
So you're
no more. We're looking forward.
Okay. So just happy holidays then.
Happy holidays.